motion. So we've just done the four of the six spinal, no, we're on the fifth of six spinal motions. We'll do them in fast order a little bit later. Inhale and slowly roll up. Bring your hands behind you, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Maybe you let your head come up. Maybe you even lift your hips off the earth on an inhale if that feels okay. Be kind to the hands and the wrists. Spread out the fingertips nice and wide so that you have that sensation as they press into the earth. You're spreading out the weight so you're not putting too much pressure on the wrists. Exhale to let the hips drop. Come back through center. Tuck your chin into your chest. We'll do a little bit of neck rolls here. So inhale, slowly roll over to one side. Keep the shoulders nice and low. You might even bring the hands to the earth, or at least that right hand down, even as your left ear goes towards that left shoulder. Maybe that arm comes across or up towards the temple. Breathing in and out through the nose. Feeling that, continuing to feel that connection to the earth, that expansion through breath, that settling and that release through the exhale. So it's expansion through inhale. Release all that down. Exhale, bring the chin back to the chest. Inhale. And to switch sides, maybe that hand comes out. Maybe you're doing other motions. Making sure if your right hand goes to your left temple, that you're not pulling down or yanking or making any strong movements. There could be some subtle movements that you make with your head and neck, but just letting the weight allow you to maybe expand the sensation. Again, meeting and greeting. With the breath, release that. Your head back to center. If you would like to, you can continue to roll from side to side, inhaling from one side to the next and exhaling back to center, or you can begin full neck rolls. Doing it soft and gently. Switching directions. Make sure you get at least a couple in each direction. You can always stay with this for longer as long as you're being kind to that head and neck, that cervical spine. When you're ready, come back to neutral. We're going to do those motions again, and then we're going to start really moving around. Inhale, arms up overhead, reaching nice and tall. Exhale, left arm comes down, right arm comes over, gaze goes up and maybe out off the edge of the fingertips. Inhale, back through center. Pressing into that left arm. Exhale, right arm down, left arm across. Gaze going where it feels best. Maybe reaching, just like the rest of your body. Keep those sit bones sunk into the earth. Inhale, come back up through center. Exhale, staying tall as you twist to the left, right hand to left thigh, left hand behind you, golden thread through the center of the crown of the head, allowing you to lift up nice and tall. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, twist in the other direction. Inhale, back through center. Exhale, slowly come down. Take a couple of breaths to get through this. Allowing yourself to reach out long on an inhale, and then exhale to sink a little bit lower. And inhale and begin to walk those hands back in towards the body. Exhale as the hands go out behind you, point the fingers in whatever is most comfortable. Inhale, lift the hips if you like. Exhale, lower back down. And then come back up to center. Now we're going to roll over the knees or find whatever way is best for you to get into tabletop. You might want to lengthen out those legs for a second. We'll have more opportunities here. Get those knees directly below hips, the hands directly below shoulders. Spread out the fingertips. Get your middle or index fingers pointing straight ahead. Get the wrist under the shoulders. Inhale for cow. Pick up the head, let the belly sink down. Feeling the tailbone trying to curl up. Exhale for cat. Pressing into hands and knees as you arch the spine towards the sky, tucking chin into chest. Inhale for cow, flowing here between cows and cats. If you prefer the opposite breath pattern, that's understandable and fine. There's different parts going up and down here. Maybe there's a side-to-side motion in your hips as you flow. Just flowing in and out through these cats and cows. Meeting and greeting sensations. You're always welcome to do a little forward and backward motion too, to just kind of wake up the body, wake up the shoulders and the hips a little bit more. We were kind of solid for a good 15 minutes, so it's good to get all those wiggles out. When you're ready, come back to neutral tabletop. Gaze is straight down. Exhale to send your left leg back. Pulsing the heel towards the earth as you pivot on the toes and balls of the feet. Make sure you find that nice balance. And in a second, we're going to lift up that back leg as well as the opposite hand, if that feels okay. So get nice and solid. Inhale, pick up the left leg. Keep the foot flexed so the toes are pointing towards the earth. Try not to lift your heel any higher than your hips and send that right arm out, palm facing in. Exhale, knee to elbow if you want to, crunching inwards, and then on every inhale, really find that length. Feel yourself pressing the heel back with those toes pointed down towards the earth and the fingertips straight ahead. Blow through this a few more times, always feeling length on the inhale, really crunching in on the exhale, releasing all that air. Do one more lengthening, and then let's exhale, lower the hand down, lower the knee down. Oh, that one is called extended tabletop or bird dog. I know I didn't really say a whole lot there. Let's curl the toes under. Come into toes pose. You can be up here, and that's easiest. You can take a prop in between the thighs and the calves, or you can sink all the way down. This is the most intense. We're just going to give our wrists a little bit of love, so go ahead and grab the thumb and rotate your wrists a little bit in either direction, continuing to send breath to those areas of motion. Anytime you want to come out of toes pose, you can just point your toes and come down into a hero's pose, and that'll be a nice sensation to the tops of the feet anyway. And then go ahead and take your hands together, and we're going to do this kind of fun action here. All right, sometimes I get really into wrist stuff, but I don't want to spend too much time there today, but enjoy these different sensations. Really be nice and kind to that. Feel free to give it a little shake before we come back into tabletop. Once again, fingers forward, index or middle, directly below shoulders, knees below hips. Exhale, send that right leg back, pulsing the heel as you pivot on the toes. Once you feel complete here, inhale to lift that heel up, foot flexed. Take the opposite hand, left hand, out, palm facing in. On exhales, feel free to bring the elbow and the knee together. In this extended tabletop or bird dog pose, feeling that lengthening, that balance, feeling that closing in. And then eventually, after you feel really complete, spend one more time just stretching. Lower the hands down, lower the knee. Take big toes to touch and possibly widen out Balasana, child's pose. Exhale, come forward. On your inhales, you're going to let those fingertips creep forward. Breathing in and out. Feeling that breath coming in, taking this quick bit of rest. And when you're ready, this is where the fun begins. We're going to walk our hands forward, come into a plank pose. You might want to remove the blanket out from underneath you, or you might want to leave it there. Once again, hands and wrists directly below shoulders. We're tightening in on the belly and the other bundas. So we're really just engaging the core here for a moment in this plank. Nice and flat, looks pretty good.
Modification, I ripped my big toe off my plate of my foot, so it's fused, so I cannot.
Yeah. So I mean, I would just leave. I would come into like an up dog probably. Like I would just leave that out, or if you want to, I'm trying to think. Like I don't know if you could go on the inside, like do your feet like this on the outsides. I don't know how that would feel because you said it was your big toe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you could try that. Anyway, sorry. Let's exhale, lower down to Chaturanga Dandasana. Yeah. The other thing is just skip it. Okay. You know, if you'd like. So here you're pointing your toes. We're going to inhale for upward facing dog or cobra. You guys feel like you did enough plank for one day?
Sorry, guys.
Pull those shoulders back, gaze out in front of you. I was like, oh yeah, they stopped. Exhale for downward facing dog. Curling those toes under, sending the hips up high and back. Really making sure that you're evenly spreading the weight between legs and feet. You can walk the dog or pedal out the feet. Still pressing into individual fingertips, although your arms are out in front of you. Inhale to look up between the hands and step or float to the top of your mat for forward fold, Uttanasana. Allow the crown of your head to sink towards the earth. Micro bend in the knees creates a shelf for your belly to rest at the tops of the thighs. Maybe you take your arms to opposite elbows, ragdoll. You can move your arms around, loosening out the shoulders. Maybe you gently rock your head from side to side or nod at yes. Feel that decompression of the spine as your head sinks deeper and deeper towards the earth. Exhale, release the hands towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Crown of the head goes straight ahead, so you're looking straight down at the floor beneath you. Hands are just below the knees on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain pose, Utthita Tadasana. Head should be the last thing to come up, taking your arms out up high. And then exhale, complete the magic trick. Bring the hands down, lower the shoulders, tall through the spine. We call this one Tadasana. So, see, every time somebody laughs, I just feel encouraged to do it again. It's okay, bad jokes being perpetuated. You're welcome. All right. Just feeling that sense of sinking into the ground through your feet, feeling how solid you are in just these two limbs, all right? Remembering that for later when we do half moon, even though you're going to be using an arm as one of your limbs to support you. Of course, half moon will be optional. Let's inhale those arms back up overhead. Getting nice and tall through the spine, reaching up, feeling that expansion of the rib cage. Exhale, left arm comes down, right arm comes over. Maybe the head goes up towards the elbow. Your left arm can come down the side, and that's my favorite because the sensation's over here by the hip. But you can also try grabbing a hold of the opposite wrist or take that hand around behind the back. So just maybe play around with that and see which one feels the best for you today. Remember that your body is different every day, and so what you need could be different every day. But just see what feels best. Inhale to release and come back up through center. Exhale, switching sides. Taking the drishti where it feels best, letting the eyes be involved, and trying out what is the best location for that right arm. Maybe you like a little bit of all three. Whenever you're ready, inhale, so come back up through center. Exhale to take your arms, to cactus out your arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Maybe take a nice back bend here as you lift up the head, sending your chin, heart, and everything up towards the sky. Inhale, come upright again. Arms out to the side as if you're telling people on either side of you that they shall not pass. And then begin to lean forward, lead with the chin, bend at the knees, swan diving forward. Let your hands press down directly under shoulders, step or float back to plank, Phalakasana. We'll just take a few seconds here. Then exhale, lower down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Keep those elbows in tight to the body. Inhale, lift your head up as you press into upward facing dog or cobra. Try to pull those shoulders back and really let your heart shine. Exhale to turn your head to the left, even as your hips come a little bit to the right. You're gonna be lengthening your left arm, even as your right arm bends a little bit. Inhale back through center, pulling those shoulders back. And then exhale, go to the other side. Inhale, come back through, pull the shoulders back, let the heart shine, and then exhale for downward facing dog. Feel free to pedal out the feet once again. Feeling that nice sensation, sending that weight up and back so that the legs are involved in supporting the majority of your weight. Inhale, lift up the left leg for three-legged dog. Bend at the knee as you stack left hip over right, scorpion tail. Inhale back to three-legged dog, and then exhale, step it forward. We're gonna come into a crescent lunge. So inhale, come on up, arms go up high, your back leg is lengthening. The heel will not press all the way into the earth. So crescent lunge as opposed to warrior one, you're still, both feet are pointing straight ahead and you're just in this long lunge. Exhale for warrior two. Pivot the back foot, 90-degree angle. Your hips are now squared towards the gong wall. Your arms are out to a T and you're turning your head to look over that left shoulder, just past the middle fingertips. Ideally, you've got your knee stacked over your ankle in the front and you're pressing into, so right now it should be left foot forward, right foot back, because I'm teaching mirrored. You're okay, yeah, I saw you flip around, so you were good. So just bring that left foot straight ahead, right? You're in a lunge. Your back foot, your toes are pointing this way, okay? And there you are. And then your torso is straight up and down, your arms are out to the T. Inhale, flip the palm up, reverse warrior. If you want to take the bend out of the front knee for a little break, this would be a good time to do it, and you're now in reverse triangle. The right arm can go down the leg, around behind the back. Exhale for Parsvakonasana, extended side angle. Elbow to thigh, ideally, you're in a nice straight line all the way from the edge of the foot to the hand. You can also release the left arm down towards the earth, a block, or maybe towards your ankle if you want to do that. Taking that right arm up, opening up to a T, or if the bind is in your practice, you can take one arm under the thigh and the other behind your back. Try to keep yourself narrow and compact here. Gaze is out or up, shoulder is up and back. You might even, I don't know if anybody's in here's got a word of paradise in their practice. I don't see anybody in the bind, so it's okay. This is not really highly recommended, but you can see that that's a place where you can eventually go. Exhale to pinwheel your arms to the earth, pick up that back heel. Plant your right hand, take your left arm up towards the sky for a dragonfly twist. You can always drop the back knee here if you want a little extra support and just come down. You've now picked up that back heel again, right, in that high lunge, or you can drop into the low lunge. Or if you want to make this extra challenging, take your hands to heart center, and we'll do a little prayer twist. So this is still Parivriti Anjaneyasana. Gaze would go out or up. Exhale, take those hands down. Begin to slowly walk that back foot forward. I kind of drag it across the top until it gets about one stride length apart. We're going to come into pyramid pose. So your feet are on kind of tight train tracks here. Don't lock out the thigh, but should be feeling a stretch through the back of this front left leg. Hands can come to the earth, to blocks, to the ankles. Some folks like to do the reverse prayer hands if they're like really into the Ashtanga practice. This is where you eventually get. But make sure that you're doing that only if you feel very comfortable with your balance. Continue to breathe. It's okay if I hear that ocean-like breath or Darth Vader breath. Eventually exhale the hands towards the earth as you pick up the back leg, and we'll come into this sort of half-standing splits or like warrior 3 supported. You can always pick up the hands for warrior 3. I'm going to send them out in front of you. Or if you want to get really crazy with the cheese whiz, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, take your left hand out to the left front corner of the mat as the right arm comes up. That right leg that's behind you is going to externally rotate to point towards the gongs. And you're letting your left hand be part of the support. Nice job using the block, Abby, and good form. Nice job, James. Very good. Good modifications. Exhale, lower that hand down. Lower the back foot back down. Coming in the lunge and step yourself back to a plank, Balakasana. Again, finding those hands, wrists directly below the shoulders. Tightening up the bandhas, engaging the core. Exhale to lower down, elbows in tight, Chaturanga Dandasana. You can always skip the vinyasa and go straight to down dog if you prefer. Inhale for up dog if you're coming along. Feel that delightful back bend. And then exhale, down dog. Always welcome to walk it out. Start to notice how down dog shifts from something challenging to almost a more restful posture. See if you can catch your breath here. Distributing the weight. Let's see if I can catch mine. When you're ready on an inhale, pick up that right leg, three-legged dog. Bend at the knee, rotate open, hip over hip. Scorpion tail. Inhale back to three-legged, and then exhale. Step it through into that lunge. It might take more than one step to get your foot between your hands. Try to get that knee stacked over ankle to let the shin bone be involved in supporting your weight. And inhale, come up into that crescent warrior. You can always modify this if you need to a warrior 1, but then you might want to widen the legs a little bit so that you can still have those hips square towards the front of the room. If you're in crescent and you want to, you can even lift up the chin and get into a little bit of a nice back bend here. Exhale, warrior 2. Pivot that back foot. We should have a nice straight line bisecting the arch of that back foot. That's why I like this mat so much, because there's a line on it. James, you have that ability as well. Taking your knee over your ankle, sinking low, straight up and down through the spine, through the torso, turning that gaze over that right shoulder. Coming into that lunge. I know that quad doesn't like you right now. It's okay. Stick with it. If you can, sink a little lower even. Inhale, flip the palm up. You can always come into a reverse triangle instead of a reverse warrior if you prefer. I've also heard this one called peaceful warrior. Hand can come around behind the back, work down that back leg. Exhale, extended side angle, Parsvakonasana. Elbow to just behind knee. Nice straight line, if you can, or maybe you lower that right hand down to the ankle or to the earth as you lift the left towards the sky. I don't think there were any takers on the bind, so I won't get into it too far, but I'm gonna just demonstrate it. And then from the bind, we can even step forward and try to come into bird of paradise. This is for posterity, so you know. Release the hands, pinwheel them to the earth. You can pick up that back heel, straighten out that back leg. If that feels okay, you can also drop the knee to the earth if you would like, the back knee. Plant the left hand, right arm comes up. Dragonfly twist. Breathing, flowing, sinking into the earth. If you want to make this even harder, come up, prayer hands, prayer twist. All right. If you're in the prayer, you want to push into the thigh if you can to try to bring your hands closer to heart center, gaze goes out or up. Exhale, pinwheel the arms to the earth. Slowly drag that back foot forward to about one stride length back. Tight train tracks, pyramid pose. Folding over, pulling in the Uddiyana Bandha for that fold. Fold different than a bend. Bend is like a blade of grass in the wind. Fold is like folding a blanket. So your hinge point here is the hips. Don't lock out that thigh. You can, if you want to make this more balancing pose, go for the ankle or even prayer hands behind the back for my Ashtanga people. Okay, so that can be fun and you'll get a nice stretch through the chest. Exhale to release those hands down towards blocks or the floor. Launch that back foot, come into that kind of half warrior three here, supported, or a standing splits. Leg is out long, toes pointed down. Maybe you pick up your hands and point them straight ahead. Now you're in warrior three, full on. Power up, as Mel would say. Or you can take that right hand, Ardha Chandrasana, half moon, out to the corner of the mat. Externally rotate that left foot to point towards the prop wall, even as the left hand comes straight up towards the sky, gazes out or up. Exhale to lower the hand down, lower the foot down. Pick up that right leg, maybe give it a shake. You're coming into a forward fold here, finding that solidity. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll up, sun salutation, extended mountain pose. And exhale. That's so magical. Feel free to switch out the hips, kind of loosen it up. Pick up those legs, give them a shake. We're on time. Oh, we're good. Okay, good. We're kind of good. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of balance stuff here. I'm gonna give you guys, so again, if you got, I don't know how the foot thing affects your balance. It's definitely gonna be harder with socks on, regardless, but I would stay on your mat. Some folks do like to come off the mat because of the squishiness. We're gonna start on our left leg because this one's still recovering. Find a drishti, focal point, a gaze, if you will, something fixed. Maybe it's a little mark in the wood or those metal things at the top of the mirror. I like to kind of drag my left leg around the ground. So real quick, before you try to do anything, I'm just gonna give you the quick rundown. We're gonna go tree into a one-legged chair or like a standing pigeon, newspaper pose if you like, into eagle, okay? You can do one or none of those or all three, but find that focal point in front of you. It's like watching the horizon when you're on a ship to avoid being seasick. Imagine all the water that is inside of your body just pouring all into this left leg here, finding that balance so that you basically aren't even on this foot anymore when you bring it either to your calf or to your thigh. It can really go anywhere on the leg that is not the knee, okay? So, and it can also just be a kickstand, if you know, depending on how you're feeling with your balance today, all right? But if you're feeling okay, we're coming into Vrikshasana tree. You can always take your arms out, and there is a push and a pull, like an isometric push of the thigh into the foot or the calf, depending on where you are, if you feel okay and if you can open that knee out. Maybe you grow the branches of your tree. Some people like to do the hip hop hooray if they're naughty by nature. Some of the people from my village like to, you know, say where it's fun to stay. Or I like to maybe interlace my fingers, raise them towards the sky. My new favorite thing to do is to get a bind here. So like it's usually, oh, I think I did backwards of how I normally do it. Normally I take the same arm that's as the standing leg. So we've been in this for a really long time. So if you feel that it's okay, sink back down, really you'll notice everything kind of pushes the foot into the earth. So it feels hard, but it also feels easier because the bones are really being forced to do the work. Maybe your hands come out in front or towards the earth. Don't overdo it. And if you're ready for one more, we're gonna take that knee over the thigh, still sinking low. Right leg's on top of left. Right arm comes under left for eagle arms. Eagle arms are not optimal, but that's what happens when you lift weights in your youth. And then the best part of eagle, even as you're twisting, is to release. Take out that leg, give it a shake. Whatever you gotta do, switch out the hips. Let the blood flow back in. And yeah, now we're gonna shift to the other side. So hopefully your right leg's feeling better after all that crazy lunge stuff that we did. Find your focus, your drishti, pour the water in the right foot. Maybe you took your right foot along the ground to really connect with the earth below you. And then once again, refocus, shift the water, start to pick up this foot. Find either kickstand, calf, thigh, feeling them press into each other even as you keep your focus straight ahead. And then you can allow your hands to do whatever they feel like doing. Again, maybe you're a nice tall tree, maybe you sway in the breeze, maybe you have some other place to be, or maybe you even can take that bind. It's fun because when I move the arms, that's where it gets hard, right? And then when you're ready, we can bring our hands back out in front of us. We can begin to bend into that right leg as we cross the left ankle over, sinking nice and low. You might start to feel it in that left outer hip or glute. It's kind of like a pigeon sensation, but with the added bonus of working on your balance. Maybe your elbows come out in front, your hands go towards the earth. If that feels okay, you're gonna have to be pretty deep into the bend. And then when you're ready, slowly come up. Let that left leg wrap around the right. Take that left arm under the right elbow. And there we go. Hey, you guys, your arms look so much better than mine. It's so nice. Yeah, stupid masculine. Desire for large muscles. All right, exhale, release, shake it out. Let's make our way towards the earth. I like to take the feet out kind of wide, maybe grab a something if I'm feeling like trying a handstand or a headstand or crow. Come down to this Malasana squat. If you don't want to try any kind of headstand crow stuff, you think that's crazy, feel free to just like work through like moving the hips around in this position, just to kind of feel that. Maybe you take your hands behind you and feel something kind of fun. I don't know. I'm gonna try a little crow for anybody who's interested. You'll be planning, I'm gonna move this out of the way. Be planting your hands down here and you're creating a shelf with your upper arms that you then place your knees or thighs on top of. You have to find the balance, you have to trust to go far enough forward. This is why I would normally put something in front of me. And then the toes come together. If headstand is in your practice, I do think you want to put something down so you're not putting too much pressure on the neck. And then you could, whoops. I wasn't quite ready for that, I did that a little too fast. So let this be a lesson to you. Under control. I also wish I had tucked my shirt in, but that's okay. Sorry for anybody who had to see that. Okay, let's make our way to one of my favorite poses, butterfly cobblers, also known as Baddha Konasana, which is bound angle pose. Take your thumbs, give yourself a little bit of a foot massage. You're gonna walk all over your feet today. You probably did yesterday too. Say thank you to your feet. They take so much punishment, and we really only think about them normally when they hurt, which unfortunately for me is a lot. So, yeah, anyway, good old plantar fasciitis. Feeling free to feel that even as your knees are opening up and you're letting a little release happen in your inner thighs and hips. If you want to get a little deeper into this, sometimes there's a fun pose where you take your hands underneath and they both kind of support your legs to allow you to kind of release into them, or you can even fold over a little bit. Remembering to try to find that length through the spine. These things are optional. Don't try this for the first time. like and go hard at it. Slowly ease your way in. It's not something you do a lot of. Beginning to catch your breath. Slowing it down. Wow, we've only got 16 minutes left of class, you guys. How about we do a little bit of a, let's release this. Let's do a little bit of a boat pose. All right, Navasana. You might start here, remembering as you hug yourself to feel a little affection for the person that you're hugging. And then eventually you're gonna find that balance and pick your feet up off the ground. Once your shins get about parallel to the ground, maybe you can release your arms, 45, 45, through the thighs and the arms, and maybe through the rest of the legs if you can straighten it out. If this isn't enough for you and you want to engage your obliques, you can always take hands to heart center, start moving around. Try to keep the legs straight. Nice work, James. Straight legs and not moving. Pretty good. Pretty good. Should learn from the best. I don't know if I've ever had you do that before. Release that back up, and we're gonna slowly lower ourselves down. Try not to let your shoulders, head, and heels clonk into the ground. I should have told you guys to make sure you come far enough forward. Hopefully you got enough room. But this way, if you gently lower down, you'll feel that engagement through the lower abs and the upper hips. And then let it go, just like Elsa. Bring your feet in close to your glutes, knees pointing up towards the sky, bending at the knee, feet flat on the ground. Take your arms on either side of your body. We're gonna do bridge, or if wheel is in your practice, do wheel. So with bridge, we're making sure that we place the weight into our feet, into our upper back and shoulders, not into our head and neck. All right? You're gonna inhale to press the hips up towards the sky, or lift the hips up towards the sky, depending on how you think about that. You can always lift one leg at a time to make this more challenging. Some folks like to reach for their ankles. I'm gonna do a quick wheel. If you're wheeling, make sure that you're really kind of the head and neck, keeping the chin tucked in as you lift off and as you slowly lower back down. Whatever you did, begin to lower vertebrae by vertebrae towards the earth, being kind to all those parts. Lowering back down while you're here. Let's do a quick windshield wiper. One knee out as the other comes in across the body. Catching your breath, finding that rest. Hug the knees all the way into the chest, making sure that there's something soft, at least your mat under your head here. You need to adjust for that. Hug the knees in your chest and really feel affection for the person you're hugging. Really mean it. When you hug, this person has been with you every moment of every day of your entire life, and they have only worked to make you happy towards your benefit, for the most part anyway. And they've gotten you this far, so that's pretty cool. Go ahead and release your arms out to a T and let your knees fall over your left side. Supine spinal twist, like pretty much my favorite thing. There are modifications. You can take your top leg long, or you can bring your bottom ankle to cross over the top knee. The fullest expression of the pose, you're turning your head in the opposite direction, so turning it over to the right, and it's like you're wringing out a damp cloth. So, and you really are detoxifying in these twisting postures, especially moving your organs around, kind of getting a massage for your insides. So there's a lot of stuff that got loosened up inside of you that you can flush out. Can anybody tell me the best way to make that happen?
Drink water.
That's right. You guys have heard of this secret elixir. That's good. Yeah. Don't forget to hydrate, people. It's not my medical opinion. I'm not a doctor, but I do think it's good for you. Something like 70% of you is that. So keep getting more. And your right shoulder sink into the earth, your shoulder blade are really beginning to relax. Did you hear that, Beethoven? We're trying to relax here, buddy. Yeah, no. Alright, we're just giving up on that. So, we'll begin to find some silence here. I know, it's up to me, right? Breath with movement, inhale and bring your head back to center. Pick up those knees, hug them into your chest, really mean it. Think about when the last time was you got to hug yourself so earnestly. Just like it's been a while since you've seen somebody and you hug them, and how good does that feel? Well, you should give yourself the same rights and privileges. Exhale, let the arms fall over out to a T and let the knees fall over to the opposite side, the right side this time. Head may go in the other direction. Any modifications you might want with the legs, find a sensation that's most beneficial to you today. Always for your greatest and highest good. Head is in the opposite direction, wringing out the cloth the other way. I always think of like, if anybody's ever played with a yo-yo, eventually you have to like let it hang at the thread and kind of unwind itself, or it won't work very well if it gets all tangled up or all spun around. You gotta do that with you too sometimes. I'm not calling you yo-yos, just balance. You have this inner critic, or I like to call it your inner Sith talker. It likes to, especially in these moments of quiet, remind us of mistakes that we made or things that happened that didn't turn out the way we hoped. Instead of dwelling in the result, dwell in the courage that it took to begin the attempt. Dwell in the things that you learned from the failed attempt, and recognize that maybe it wasn't even failure, it was exactly what you needed. Be grateful to you for all of the things that you try and do, even the ones that turn out differently than you had expected. Inhale, breath and movement. Let your head come to neutral, pick up the knees, hug them into the chest, really mean it. Knowing that just like you've got to put your yellow airplane mask on before assisting others, you need to have love in your heart in order to share it with others, and that love has to start with you. You have to think that you are worthy of your own love, and you have to think that your love is worth something to give to others, and I assure you it is. It is beautiful, filled with light. Take any other poses you might need. Maybe there's a happy baby here, and then maybe there's a plow, waterfall, also known as Viparita Karani, or legs up the wall in our wall classes, or shoulder stand or candlestick, deaf man's pose. Any other posture you need before Shavasana. Shavasana is about rest. It literally means corpse pose. I think partially because corpses don't move or think very much, or so we believe. Try to remember or remind yourself that you are not your thoughts or your mind. You're that which is observing your mind thinking. You're not our bodies, they are merely the vehicle for something greater, the divine being of light that I mentioned earlier. Just like a river flows, thoughts will flow into our brains. So I ask you to let the same river carry those thoughts away. Or in other words, even as the thoughts come, observe them and let them go. Minutes after day to guide from the bottomless pit, my hand was made strong by the hand of the Almighty. We forward in this generation triumphantly. Won't you help to sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. Have no fear for atomic energy, 'cause none of them can stop at the time. How long shall we kill our prophets while we stand aside and love? Ooh, some say it's just a part of it. We got to fulfill it, but won't you help me sing these songs of freedom? 'Cause all I ever had, redemption song. All I ever had, redemption song. These songs of freedom. You may slowly begin to allow awareness back into your body. Perhaps you introduce movements such as the wiggling of fingers, toes. Maybe you gently move your head side to side like you're shaking your nose, but not very emphatically. Perhaps you expand motions of the hands to the wrists and feet to the ankles, moving in gentle circles or back and forth. It's waking up your body, feeling back into motion and sensation, shaking off the sleep, the stillness. Perhaps you'll take your hands up overhead or behind your head, depending on your perspective there, as you point your toes and have a nice good morning stretch. And then hug your knees into your chest one last time, really meaning it, really feeling that love for you, yourself, and you. You can roll over to your favorite side, or you can roll forward into a comfortable seat. Eventually we are making our way to a comfortable seated position on your mat, but take your time, roll over, use your lower arm to support your head, and use that other arm to press yourself gently up in a nice slow pace, not forcing yourself to move too quickly. Recognizing the flow, the ebb and flow of the class, starting with that meditation, moving into some more vigorous movement, and then the slowing down again. And just coming back. Notice what's different about the you that you started with, that you're ending. Let's inhale and take the arms out wide, lifting them up towards the sky, eventually pressing the palms together in Anjali Mudra, gesture of gratitude. Exhale. Rainbow palms in front of heart center. If that feels okay, maybe bow your head slightly. Cultivate a sense of gratitude and notice the stress melt away. Be thankful for someone or something in your life. Think of something for which you're truly grateful and just feel that sensation, that high vibration, right up there with love and authenticity is the greatest things that we can experience as far as we know. And just in case it didn't come into your mind, make sure you cultivate that same sense of gratitude for the person who brought you to class today, for the person who has their palms pressed together in front of you. You are a divine being of light. The divine light that resides in me sees, honors, humbly bows to the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Shukriya means thank you. Shukriya, 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 shukriya. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you got whatever you were looking for. And if you've got anything extra, please share it with someone that you meet in your travels today. Have the best day, and may the force be with you.
I won't be here tomorrow.